Hi, my name is Mason Waring. I'm joined here with my colleague, Leah Small. And today we're going to talk about long-term disability policies, the kind that you would have purchased yourself directly from an insurance company, and long-term disability insurance coverage that you'd get through your employer. It's important to understand the different types of coverage that you may have, because if you are disabled, you want to make sure that you're taking advantages of benefits under both policies. So Leah, to start us off, this is a question we do get from people. Are you able to have two policies or more policies that you would purchase yourself and you get from your employer at the same time?
So the short answer is yes. Oftentimes people will have group coverage through their employer, but they will then purchase an individual policy to kind of supplement that coverage and add additional protection in the event they become disabled.
With the individual policy, you typically will have worked with an insurance agent to buy it yourself, and so you would have been actively engaged in that process. So you may know about that, and you'd be paying premiums on that if you have it. And then the group employer policy, a lot of times that's deducted. The premiums for that are deducted from your paycheck, and sometimes the employer pays for it all. So maybe a little less obvious that you have that. And so if you are disabled and need to file a claim, you can talk to HR to see what benefits you have available to you. They should be able to provide you with that information. And then with respect to the individual policy, we've seen in our practice that, let's say someone becomes disabled and then a family member is caring for them. They may not know that that person purchased long-term disability insurance coverage. So one thing to do might be to tell someone, tell your potential caregiver what insurance you have so they know what policies they may need to make claims under. If you are caring for someone and you're not sure if that person has insurance coverage, take a look at their financial records if you have access to it, because they would have paid premiums through a credit card or through a checking account and things like that. And we've actually used that to figure out what coverage someone has in place. So there's just some tips there. So Leah, what are some of the differences between that individual coverage you would have purchased yourself and the long-term disability coverage that you'd get through your employer?
So with that employer-provided coverage, it's a little more take it or leave it. The employer has selected the policy, and so you're generally limited to the terms of that policy that the employer bought. With an individual policy, you, as you said, are a little more involved with the process. You may be able to pick what provisions, the benefit amount, how long benefits will last, what the definition of disability is, and kind of tailor it more to your situation. On the flip side of that, though, employer-provided policies are often a little more affordable, either because the employer is paying all of the premium or paying part of it, or even if the claimant is responsible for paying all the premiums, they're getting a group discount oftentimes. So it's still cheaper than an individual policy where you, the insured, are responsible for paying that whole premium, and it's usually going to be a little more expensive. The other important thing to keep in mind is that if you have filed a claim, it's been denied, an appeal has been denied, and you're looking at going to court, that's oftentimes going to look a lot different under an employer-provided policy versus an individual policy. Employer-provided policies and claims you file under those are typically governed by ERISA. And so in court, you may be limited to the record you built before the insurance company. There's typically not going to be kind of a jury rendering a decision on your claim, and the court may actually give deference to the insurance company's decision. In contrast to an individual policy, if you're litigating a denied claim, it's often more typical of what we think of with litigation. There may be a jury, you can present evidence, there may be additional damages available to you outside just the benefits. So those are just kind of the top few ways they can look a little different.
Yeah. Another question we get is there an offset between the individual and the group long-term disability insurance policies? Short answer is typically not. I mean, more often than not, we don't see that, but we have seen scenarios where the insurance company will try to take an offset against other long-term disability benefits. And that just means that the company will say, look, we're going to pay you less money because you're getting benefits from another source. It doesn't happen often, but there have been different fact scenarios and policy scenarios where that does happen. So something to be aware of. Typically not an issue, but something to be on the lookout for. Leah, anything else on the topic of the individual and group policies?
It's, bottom line, as you said, the big thing to be aware of is be aware of what coverage you have available to you and inform your caregiver, important family members, so they are aware of as well. You don't want to end up in a situation where you don't file a claim you could have filed because you or someone taking care of you wasn't aware of the coverage, and maybe now you've missed deadlines and you're now facing more of an uphill battle. So read your policies before you ever need them is always a good place to start. And like I said, be aware of all the coverage you have.
And if you have questions about your claim, if you need help filing a claim, help with an appeal, give us a call. It costs nothing to reach out to us to see if we can help you. Our number is 401-331-6300. You can find us online at cck-law.com. Please subscribe to our channel and like this video. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover in the future, please leave a comment. Thanks very much.